Good morning, guys. Welcome to iPod Smart. I think we feel a little bit better than Man U today. 4 goals in 34 minutes. What a joke. And also better than South Africa today. If you don't start your best player because of quota, then that's what you can expect versus New Zealand. Anyway, be that as it may, let's have a look at Scottsville. Good to soft on both tracks today. 5 millimeters rain in 24 hours and 18 millimeters in 17 days, and we have a 9-race card. So the bipod starts in the second, the PA in the third, pick 6 in the fourth, jackpot 1 in the fifth, and jackpot 2 in the sixth. So nothing as far as exotics is in the first. Our top rated is imposing, but the price is not. And I would even look at something like popping up here Hunter's Arrow, which, yes, he got that value from 1,000 meters gravel poly, which is normally faster than the grass there, but it was his first run, so he's not actually going to be that far off from racing. And on top of that, he now gets Mr. Veal on board, so Hunter's Arrow is maybe not such a bad runner at that kind of price, but be that as it may, imposing, last survivor, another day in Africa. That's what the box said last night. And Hunter's Arrow is the top 4 from the first timers. I think the one we should have the most respect for is probably between Madame Zabre and Director's Cut. Gary Rich only runner with Dixon on board, and Director's Cut Cunnamer's got 3 for the day, and he does put the intent on with Keegan de Melo. So not a betting proposition race for me. In fact, KwaZulu-Natal has not been a betting proposition for many. And until they realize that and they stop trying to control everything, we will continue to lose people from the racing. Royal Point must see some improvement after being gelded now, and also getting the 2.5 Mr. Gibson happy claim, as well as the blinkers fitted. So not out of it either, not even at 40-1, I would think. Moving on, the second race. Now, in the second race, top rated, we're going with Seed again. These little green ticks on the side here, you can see, is our new fantasy league. Anyone can play. It's free to play. So if you play, you can win some prizes. It just gives you your selections and what you would make as your profit, what the cost is, and then your woof win odds edge factor cost, and whether it's to a positive for the bookie or a positive for the punter. In this case, positive for the punter, and what the edge factor is, the win odds edge factor. So please play and enjoy yourself. There is a leaderboard, monthly, weekly, and globally, and daily leaderboard, which means that everyone could have a little bit of fun. In the second seat again is the top rated, with Forgotten Time and Lazy Guy, but again a Dean Cunnamer horse, again with Keegan de Melo on board. So there must be some intent again here for Cunnamer to try and win with any one of them. This is a give me the green light, Captain Al. So lots of respect for cheeky laddie, in my humble opinion. And then the other one from the first time is Flaming Drum, Perfect Outlook, Aerial Display, War Master, Double Silver, all of them here in the middle of the points table. So need to respect them. Yeah, as it is not enough already that we have KZN Racing, we also have all these first timers, which means essentially it's not really a day for racing for guys that actually would like to make a profit. Race 3. Here we have a red horse in first, Blazing Light. Now, what I mean with the red horse is the trainer being paid to untrain the horse. I think that's the easiest explanation for it. Given an example here, 73 merit rating to a 74, 71, 67, 65, 63. Now, needless to say, this trainer is being paid to not do his job. And if you combine that with the fact that it's also owned by the same person, then we start having problems, because this is a state of racing. Anyway, short wheel this season has a 50% win place ratio with Dennis Dreyer, and Dennis Dreyer has a 25% win place ratio on the track. So Blazing Light is probably need to be respected as the top rated. And then Take to War is another horse that's being untrained. Garth Puller in this case being paid to not train the horse or untrain the horse. So he's the second rated. Monsieur Cheval, third rated. Valley's First Wave, fourth rated at 33 to 1. Mrs. Shelby, Luck of the Iris, and Oshiala. Moving on to the fourth. Here we have a greenie in the form of Berengaria, only runner for Baron Boertis and Vosloo, with Ryan Munger taking the ride. Does have some hidden bad form here on red, which means outside of the distance category of today. In fact, that was over the 1,000 meters at Vaal. So he's had 3 runs, all 3 at the Vaal. He had some support on his last run at the Vaal, 14 into 6. And now he's getting blinkers fitted. And he also gets Ryan Munger for the job, which does have a really decent record with Boertis. And I think he's the second favourite behind Jazbella. But based on the hidden form here, I think Berengaria has a decent enough chance to give Jazbella a bit of cheek. Third, Coffeeberry. Fourth, Gutentag. Fifth, another red one, Bay of Dreams, which does have the best speed rating and some very hidden 5.97 on the bat here, as in fifth. Kitty Boy Girl in sixth. And then, yeah, so a couple of first timers again. The top of the first timers being Salient Point, and then Inchlen Tombi, the other one in the first timers. That's all mid-table here. Another one to maybe mention here is for third or fourth is Catalia Summer, with this little flash on the 8.99 on the bat figure here, which was clearly a nice improvement. It was on the poly though, as you can see the P. But he's trying to get closer. Calvin Korbu takes the ride again. Does have a 33% decent strike rate with Mr. Kotson. Moving on, fifth. Yeah, in the fifth. Bit of a tough race, I think. If you look at these very close, 2.48, 3.9, 1.9, 3.8, 4.29, another hidden 3.43 here. If you look at that, then a lot of red here as well, so a lot of untraining, trainers being paid not to train, whatever you want to call it. Call me the green light. Interesting running here with Dennis Dreyer again. You can see he's a red horse from a 74, 81, and he went all the way back. He is so good at training. He went from an 81 to a 55 merit rating. So, Ricardo, Imitation Game here I ended up with as being my top rated, and it's a little bit of consistency at least lately, third, second, fourth. And now Tristan Godden takes the ride instead of Carty, so a little bit more intent there for me. When placed 16%, 38% places, and a 60% on Tristan Godden for the season. But open, I would suggest. So Imitation Game, call me the green light, charge down the bayou. Nice little roughie here on that 54.5 kilos, only runner for Lafferty. He's one of the older ones, as that would suggest, getting older than the field average, so one to consider as well, since he was also once a much more better horse until they started untraining him from a 76, now 8 kilos lighter, to a 60. So yeah, I don't think the horses lose their form as much as the trainer does. Moving on to open. You can probably hear from my tone of voice that KZN Racing is not really for me anymore. The control is too much in one entity, and that therefore means the control of the results is also in one entity, and that's terrible. The sixth race, Jackson Wells, I went with the first top rated. Happy Claim makes it best on the bat figures, so that 4 kilos or 8 merit rating points. Top of that, also a change of gears. from from pacifiers back to only alamites. After that one run, he got a 13.29 on that one. A little bit naughty. He's an interesting runner for me at a really nice price. Because just the other day, very close back, he was backed in from 70 to 5.5. And that 4.53 is by far the best in this field. If you look at the exact course, exact distance, it's like 10 lengths better than anything else in this field. So I would think that the little bit naughty is a really nice price at 6 to 1 for me. So Jackson Wells, a little bit naughty, Binging Beach, Dawn of a New Era, Trump My Queen, which is also an only runner with the geared change. And based on form and intent on the bum roll and bum roll curve for only runner Gavin van Zyl. Yeah, so it's not a day where I'd rather. We had 53,000 sporting events last year, so last month. So obviously a lot of opportunity for you. We even also predicted Man United to lose against Brentford yesterday, which they did handsomely, very handsomely, I must add. So and then Alfonso Baby, pretty open. Shane Humby, twice as fast. It's red bats, but if you look at the bat 42, it's second here on 2.55. And that 2.55, they're trying a 600 for 1600 for the first time. So it was at 1200 where they got that 2.55. Hasn't shown that it can do it over 1600, but might be wrong. It might have just been some more hidden for being paid to untrained. Moving on to the 7th. And in the 7th, I'm going to go with, with 16 to 1 times Silhouette as my first choice. Bull match it with Kachedi. Takes the 4 kilos, third run after a rest. As you see that little money key there running with the 3. Based on overall ranking, based on Bumroll 168 and Bat 168. And the line bat horse also by not much, 0.98, 0.6, 1.16 lengths. So time Silhouette first choice. Then we go red again, Flying the Star. Very little points between 64 and 63 here. Flying the Star, so I'm going with 16 to 1 and then a 7 to 1. Yeah, it's not opinions, it's just the data giving me these. So that's the second one, Beckoning Beauty. The third one, Louis Goosen. Then I sort of also have some respect here for Sweet Symphony now that Serena Moodley's back up. You see Serena Moodley does a lot better, first, third, and another third year. And then they went away with Magudwa and Geertsen. So not much there, but there's a hidden 1.95 stuck in here, which is the best. Not by much, because Flying the Star is at 2.32. And Pelargonium is at 3.98, but nonetheless, I think that is also to be respected. It is red because it's gone being not trained by more than 10 points here as well. So that's another one to consider. Let me just, where was that other one I actually also looked at? No, I'll tell you now where that is. I think it's in race 8, the next one. Race 8, yeah. We have a pretty almost favorite Groove Ice with Calvin Hubbard, and then we have the stablemate, Winter Journey, Bardenhorst and Geertsen. Now we all know how that ends. Not well, like we saw 3 times yesterday at Kenilworth, where the stablemate beat the favorite from the same stable, beat the favorite, Andre Nell. We even remarked that's how it happens, and it happened again yesterday. So, yeah, I'd give some respect here to a very hot, coming from a rest horse, Swiss Bank. 12 to 1, I know it doesn't look like anything, but the fact of the matter is that this horse does love to run fresh. So I would definitely throw this into the equation. Hasn't showed me that the grass is the best for it, because it's had this one run on the grass where it really didn't do much for it, but be that as it may, when it does return from a rest, then it is better off, as that red hot would suggest. So Swiss Bank definitely need to throw into the mix here, but from from what the data suggests, I would go with Winter Journey as my first choice, which is the stablemate to Groove Ice, which is almost a favorite. Because, yeah, there's the evidence of what it's capable of. And then our Emily, Michael Roberts and Vinegar, is my second choice based on its very last run, which was unfortunately on the poly, and it hasn't shown me the same on the grass. But that being said, it does also get a gear change today, and it keeps Vinegar, so I would only assume that it could perform on grass. And slight hint here that one time that they had it on the grass, it was backed in from 6 into 2.5, but things went wrong. I could only assume things went wrong because it ran from a 10 draw. So not as good a draw. 7 draws better than the 10 draw. So our Emily is the next one. Then Groove Ice, the Bardenals coupling. Then there she goes, 20 to 1. And as I said, Swiss Bank, Casa Rosada, Queen Mercury, only runner for Andre Nel on his second run after a rest, but also does have the best on the exact course and exact distance on the blue bat, so bat CD, that's 6.38. It didn't follow it up though when Garth Wright took Gareth Wright took, Garth Wright was a number 9 scrum off, so Gareth Wright took it up because the 6.38 turned into 11.12. So we can see who's the better jockey between Keegan the Melo and Gareth Wright, I guess. That being said, though, maybe it was that he didn't like the soft going so much. So please do have a look at the horses that does like the soft going a little bit more today. When you're one of our members and have access to the information that we have here. So all in all, quite a tough little affair. Just do throw in Swiss Bank into your exotics there. And in the last year, yeah, it's going to go with a 20 to 1 shot as the Pom's operated, with Gumeri only having two rides for the day. So he sits in that jockey room for quite some time. He does have a 50% win ratio on Sir Pom, and Sir Pom has sufficiently been untrained to become very capable again, miraculously I would add, because he was an 80 once and now he's a 62, so that gives the owners and trainers a nice little 9 kilograms to play with, and our authorities allows that, so good on them. So Sir Pom is my first choice. Second choice is Two of Us, again a Bardenals and Kennedy. And interesting to note that Bardenals only has 2 runners for the day, and Kachedi is involved in both of them. Then third is Putin's Promise, again the Naidu coupling this time. So the 5.5 versus the 20 on Putin's Promise and Sir Pom, but much respected because a better bat 42 form, and the line bat horse here, so very much needs to be respected. Then Cavalieri, we're coming with a red horse, 1 of 2 for Oudendal. So yeah, again, could be anything. Another trainer's miracle from an 84 to a 66. And then I throw in something like Crested Eagle. If you look at Crested Eagle, it hasn't run for forever. Last time, well, if you look at that 12th of January 2022, it brings it out of the 280 days to or outside the 168, 84, and 42 days. But that being said, at the bottom here, it does have a first on the first time that it ran on the 1200 Scottsville. Went back in from a 33 to a 20, so it's probably owned and trained by Mr. Campbell. I haven't looked, but judging on what I'm seeing there, it is. And that's when it showed what it's capable of on a 2.13 bat CD. So let's have a look. Ah, yes, I didn't even look at that. Mrs. Campbell, Douglas Campbell, J. Campbell, all together now. And might just miraculously return to brilliant form today. There's enough excuses as well. They had tongue ties, didn't work for it, and now the tongue ties being taken off. So that's it from me today, guys. Yeah, it's KZN Racing. There where the turnover is turning less and less and less until someone realizes that we need to have the sport long-term and not just short-term gains. But be that as it may, that is the state of KZN Racing. So if I look at the JTR combo here, a couple of things standing out. There's a nice little one here on Berengaria. Here is Dennis Dreyer with Blazing Light, and followed later with Call Me the Green Light at 14 to 1. It also pops out quite nicely. Yes, decent with the Only for the Day for Gavin van Sale here for Bingin Beach and Trump McQueen. Then Glenn Cotson here, Imposing. Then Justin Snaith, Jazabella, and so forth and so forth. But watch this as it populates as the day goes on. Then we'll get more information from the on-day rules. That will make a lot more sense then. If we look at the ODR averages, let's see if anything stands out. Imposing's got a nice little gap here, followed by in the second. Nice gap here from Seed again to Forgotten Time in second. Then, yeah, almost a 1 from Blazing Light to Take to War. Then 2.45 Berengaria, 2.86 Jazz Bella, and Coffee Berry. Then almost 1 further back. Then Invitation Game looks first here with Call Me the Green Light very close in second, and then there's a big gap to Charge Down. So both of those pretty much strong against the rest of the field. Then there's pretty open race, the 6th race, 7th race, Time Silhouette, also very open, the first 3 very much together. Then 3, 3.6, 3.8, and in the back, nice little gap here for Sir Pom, which is probably a decent enough value bet at 3.05. With Kumnaidu's stablemate Putin's Promise and the backup. Guys, yeah, that's it from me. I hope you choose wisely in KZN, and hope you keep investing in KZN until the authorities realize that the game is in dire straits.